Hey guys, happy Saturday. Talking to you this morning about interest rates. Rates right now are a very hot topic. Everybody's asking about rates, and I wanted to put it into a visual context because I'm very visual. I like to see things so I know what's going on. And I think it's a lot easier when you don't do what we do for a living to understand what we're talking about when you can see it. So as mortgage professionals, we see that bonds are doing this and the market's doing that, and we can interpret that and see what that's going to mean in terms of rates and other side effects. But to the average person, that doesn't mean a whole lot in context of mortgage rates. So I'm going to show you a couple things today that might help really clarify how unique this is and what a unique point in history we're seeing right now. Because when we look at the whole spectrum of rates and mortgages between 1970 through last year, through 2019, there's been some pretty wild fluctuations. So if we look at our graph here, we've got between 1970 and 2020. And we see that the highest rates have ever been were right here in the 80s, between 16 and 18%. Very high mortgage rates, a lot of fluctuation, but as high as the mid 18% during the 80s decade. The lowest they've ever been was 3.3, all right? It was within the last 10 years, 3.3% historically. So over the last however many years, since 1970, 3.3 has historically been the lowest rates have been. Today, March 2020, rates are sometimes below 3%. We're locking loans between 2.875 and 3.25, which is, again, incredibly unique in the history of mortgages. So if you look at it, the lowest they've ever been, right here. We're here. The reason I say that is because I've talked to so many people that say, well, I'm going to wait 6 months. I'm going to wait a year. Rates are going to continue to drop. And maybe they do. But if we look at this spectrum, this is the room that rates have to continue to decrease. This is the room they have to continue to increase. The probability of rates increasing is much higher than the probability of rates continuing to decrease, coronavirus or not. There's always going to be stuff in the world, but the probability of rates continuing to go down, it's just not as high as the probability that they'll go up because there's so little room left for rates to continue to decrease. All right, so to put this into simpler terms, let's look at an airplane. All right, I got my airplane drawn. Let's say you're boarding a plane. You are fourth in line. It's a first come, first serve type of plane. And, you just fill the seats as you fill them. So let's say you get in line. You got in line at the right time, and you're fourth, right? So you're going to come here, and you grab this seat. You grab seat number 3 on the plane, and you're loving life. Life is great. You want to be as close to the front of the plane as possible, and seat 3 is a pretty good spot. But then you start to think. You start thinking, well, I'm looking right here. This seat is still open. In seat 2, that's closer to the plane, that's better. Maybe I'm gonna wait. Maybe I'll stand at the front of the plane, give up my seat, and just say, maybe seat 2 will open up, and maybe I'll get a better seat. The problem is that as you're waiting, all these seats continue to fill, all right? And before you know it, this seat's taken, and you're down here at the back of the plane, you're throwing up, you missed your free drinks, and life is terrible. So, just another context to put it in, that there's only so much that rates can do, and I think that taking advantage of our market right now is just a smart idea if it's the right time for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right time to buy, but if you are in the market to buy or refinance, there's never been a better time with interest rates, and that's just kind of the context and the concept that I wanted to go over today, was how unique all this is, and to put it into a context that you could really grasp outside of, hey, the bond market's doing that. So anyway, if you have any questions, give me a call. Very unique time in history, and we would love to answer any questions that you have. Thanks. Bye.